shooting to green screen is often used a lot in the photography and film industry because it means that you can really easily isolate your model from the background, because when it comes to selecting the background to etch it out or to isolate it, there isn't a lot of green in an image. So green screens are usually bright green, and you can also get fluoro blue versions as well, but I think the green one is the most commonly used. Now, it's important when you're lighting your green screen and setting it up to follow a few simple steps ahead of time, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. Now, the way this image has been lit by Andrew Mack is the figure, your model is well lit. The problem is that there's going to be issues when it comes to selecting your model out of the background, because you've got like some fall off here in the background and quite a few creases. So if I go now, and the quickest way to select is just by using something like color range, and I can come in and I can select the green, and you can see that if I increase my fuzziness, it's going to do a pretty good job, but you can see that there are areas that it's going to miss. And if I try and add those to the selection, you'll see in the thumbnail that now that I've selected like this black down the bottom, it's also going to appear, the sampled colors are also going to be on the figure. So it's like not the optimal way of doing the selection. So if I go back to just doing a green and reducing the fuzziness so that I've got a clean edge, you can start to see that where there's good contrast and I'm going to have a good selection, I'm actually missing details, and so then I have to go back and add to my layer mask and muck around. It's also missed a whole section here where there's a crease and a shadow. So it just makes life a lot harder if the green screen isn't lit well in the first place, and also if the green screen is wrinkled. So the best green screens are, you can get like material ones, and that's what the movie industry use a lot. Roll paper works as well, but you've just got to make sure that you light it. And I've got one that is actually like a vinyl-ish material as well, and that works quite well. And I'd like to keep it rolled up and free of all of these wrinkles. So let's have a look at a diagram, and I'll show you how I light a green screen. Okay, so here's a green screen. I've got roll paper, but you could easily use material, or there's even, you can get pop-up ones as well. And what's good about the pop-up green screens is they've got like sprung steel inside, and so when they pop up, they're actually super flat. So you can get those that are life size, and they work well if you're going to be doing a lot of comp images where you want to quickly and easily isolate your models from the background. So I've got, however you're lighting your subject, that's fine. You go ahead and light your subject, but you've also got to light your background and make sure that it's lit evenly and softly. So you want to make sure that the entire area is covered in light. If you use a hard light and you've got an image where there are wrinkles in the background, it's going to catch all of those wrinkles. So you want to have make sure that you've got a soft, even light flow so that you're filling in all these areas and you've got a nice, even coverage on your green screen. So a couple of ways to light the background is to have these V-flats, and then couple of extra lights, and you could possibly use speed lights. It's a lot harder to do when you're doing these higher level kinds of edits. It just works better to have some kind of studio light where you've got a bit more power and a bit more control over the light. So a couple of V-flats, which is two large pieces of obviously it's often polystyrene foam, or you can get foam core, which is like a very lightweight board, to attach together, and you aim the light into the boards, and then the light will bounce back over your background evenly on both sides. So you'd want to expose it so that it was either about a stop under what your exposure is here. So if your meter reading off your subject here is f8, you want to have your background maybe at f5.6. It can even be the same, it doesn't matter. What you want is an evenly lit background without any shadow. So that's the first way you can do it. The other option you can use is to have your lights with umbrellas and then facing the light towards the screen, so you get like a direct light, and the umbrella will soften that and give you basically a larger spread and a more even light source. So doing that is going to give you a much more even background, and without, hopefully, if you've got your material nice and taut, you shouldn't have any wrinkles, and if the light source is even, it's going to make selecting the image a lot faster as well.